The strategy that I'm about to talk about is the next big thing, not only for personal branding, but also for business. And you're seeing it all over. Like take Alex Becker, for example. He is going very niche. Well, it's not super niche, but he's talking about Facebook ads only on a new channel. And a ton of other people are doing this. And in combination with people recognizing his face because he made very wide content previously, now they're going over to that. And he knows they're high intent. He knows they're people that need help with their Facebook ads. And so he's helping them. And then he's retargeting them with ads to people that watch those videos. And he's probably getting a ton of sales for his software, which is an ads tracking platform. And he's doing it in a really, really smart way where it's like, not only is he finding qualified leads very easily and nurturing them with the videos, but he's also retargeting them with ads. And it's like the whole thing because he's also helping with ads. So you see how good he is at it and all that. So that's kind of the new thing. But then that begs the question, should people start by going very niche? Which I don't know, to be honest, I don't. Because I've debated this, and so far for me, I kind of like the combination where for me, I make more wide content on Instagram where it's just general business stuff. I make sales videos that are jokes. I make serious videos that are about branding, and my actual company is an SEO agency. We do help with content a little bit. And that's kind of for the future because that's what I know really well. My partner is the SEO guy. I'll talk about that in a second. But that's my strategy where it's, if you can recognize my face and then you see me pop up somewhere else where I'm teaching something that maybe you need help with, you're way more likely to click on me, right? And I'm not trying to go the ultra famous Hormozi route because that doesn't really look appealing, but it definitely helps. So like if you've watched these videos, let's say you're a business, you've watched these videos, and then all of a sudden you see me on my business YouTube, which is what I'm doing, you might be like, oh, I do need help with SEO, and I know John, that's John, I'm gonna click on that. And so that's kind of the whole idea for me, because I'm able to get some leads from my broad content, but then also have this super niche thing where the people who already recognize me are going to click on it, and also new people find it, etc. But my strategy is targeting search. So I do think you don't have to do both, in my opinion. You can target search and just solve problems that people are searching for. Those are the highest intent people. And this is where I think this is kind of the untapped market because people haven't really been doing it. They're kind of doing the super niche thing, but they're still targeting the recommended. They're still trying to do the really enticing YouTube titles, which is cool. It's good. You can get a lot of views fast, especially if people know your face. But they're not as high intent. But search, it's harder to win, but they're very high. They want that pain solved. So that is basically my entire plan right now. And on top of that, I'm a big believer in just saying what you're doing on the internet. Like if you say you hate courses and then tomorrow you release a course, everyone's going to hate you. And people do this all the time and they're like, huh? It's like, yeah, of course. Like you went against the one thing you were standing for on the internet. And I get it. People change their minds. But you just have to be upfront. Like, hey, I changed my mind. And also, normally, you change your mind slowly. So if you're being real the whole time, you'll change your mind in slow increments. And people will see that and they'll grow with you, if that makes sense at all. So I still wanted to have this channel because I want to be able to be super upfront about everything. So if you're ever wondering what my strategies are or like, oh, is he low-key trying to sell this thing? Like just come on here and I'm talking about all of it. But I try to be very upfront because I sell all the time on Instagram and nobody cares. You know why? Because I make it funny and I make fun of myself about it and I don't hide it. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to sell because I'm a business owner. So speaking of business owner, this whole channel started because I was trying to start a new business from scratch. And I've had some success in the past, but I was trying the traditional route, the cold call method, the cold DM, cold whatever, cold everything. And I didn't want to use social media to do it. But I realized I was very good at social media because I've done it for a long time. And, you may not know it from these videos because I'm not trying, but I know how to do well. And you can look at my Instagram and figure that out. But when I finally decided to do that was when I realized I'm not using my strengths. There's no reason not to use content and brand. And it felt like it was cheating for me. I was like, I feel like I can't do it because I don't even know, honestly. It just felt like cheating. Because also, if I wasn't an expert, I didn't really know what kind of content to make. And then I talked about in another video, I figured out humor was a good way to do it without being an expert. But they're not super qualified. So fast forward to my current partner, he reached out to me. I worked for him about 6 years ago. He was just an entrepreneur. He had a website design company. I gave the website a call and he said, yeah, come in. I worked for him for like a year or something. And it was literally just me and him. I cold called for him. I did all kinds of stuff. Basically, I did everything that, it taught me how to be an entrepreneur, really. And since then, I kind of kept in touch with all my business endeavors. Also, I'm walking in a circle because I want to get steps in. I like it. But I called him because, he kind of became like a mentor because I started getting interested in my own business a little bit later, a few years later. And he reached out because he liked my last business, the AI phone assistant, which I talked about on here. I only did that for like a month before he called me and he's like, hey, we should merge and start our own thing. And you own part of the business. Because for me, I was like, he wanted me to sell for him. And I was like, I'm not a sales guy. I want to be entrepreneur. If I'm selling my own thing. That's it. And he was like, okay, we can split it. But he was like, you also, like he owns more of the business because he is putting up money and also way more time than I'm able to put up. So our deal has become, I am the CMO, so I'm marketing. I'm also selling. I'm chief of marketing and sales, really. But I'm doing both of those things, and he's just fulfilling. But that resulted in a challenge, and I promise I'm going to make this make sense in a second. But he proposed that, and I was like, okay, cool. And that's what made me start trying on Instagram. So you can see I wasn't really trying very hard. I was just putting up kind of documenting the process videos. And then you'll see the first video I started trying got 1 million+ views. And the reason being is because I'm like, okay, now I'm confident in the product. I have time to make content because I don't have to fulfill. And I don't want to cold call. I'd rather just make content. So that's what made me start doing that. But we had this idea of, he said, okay, well, can you make content for our business, for Go Big Systems? That's what it's called. And I was like, yeah, sure. But he's like, it has to be on your, on an account for the business. It has to be owned by the business. Because if you ditch us and take your, you sell like your equity in the company and you leave, we need to own that. If it's just yours and it's the main source of like acquisition for the company, which it probably will be, then you can't just leave us and screw us over. So I was like, okay, that's fair. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing long form content targeting search, and search I think is kind of a slept on thing right now. But the problem still arises, and that's why I wanted to make this video so I have it documented. I am not the SEO expert. I make videos on it, but I literally get on the phone with my partner. He is, I don't know how old he is, 50. He's been doing it for 14+ years. I worked with him 6 years ago when he was doing it. I know he knows how to get results. So I want to put all this out here because I'm sure at some point people are gonna be like, why this dude was documenting a year ago and now he's an SEO expert all of a sudden. No, I am not. I am learning a lot, but no, I'm not an expert. He is. I get on the phone, I say, hey, what are all the things, like whatever idea I have. I'm like, okay, give me 5 big things that'll change your business, yada, yada. And then I do my own research to make sure I have a good understanding of what I'm talking about and all that. So that's been my solution to getting around the problem of not being an expert, because yes, I'm not an expert. Content, I know quite well. And that's kind of where this whole idea of becoming organic marketing centered came from. where we're doing SEO and we're doing YouTube search content, which YouTube search is a little bit new. I know how to make good content. YouTube search is a little bit different of a ball game. And so I'm kind of learning that right now, but I want to focus on that, because if I get really good at that and start helping businesses do that, that's going to be really helpful for them, because YouTube also helps your website's SEO. I did not know that before. So it's really cool. It kind of all works together, and it makes a huge difference for the businesses. So the point being, that's kind of my strategy, because, you know, I wouldn't be able to say things like that if I didn't have this channel where I could document, because, you know, it's also the reason a lot of people don't do this is because, in my opinion, they don't want proof of them starting, because then if they decide to try to pretend like an authority all of a sudden, they can't. And I understand that, because when I was doing the SEO thing, I'm like, wow, this sucks. I have a year of videos of me saying I'm trying to get this copywriting thing off the ground. And then, like I said, it's like all of a sudden you're an SEO expert. But I also have a place where I can, like here, where I can say it's my partner, it's not me. So I wanted to make that very clear, because I'm sure that will come up at some point. But I really do like having this, because not only is it really cool for me to be able to look back on these videos and hopefully helpful and /inspiring for someone, but it's also long-term lead nurture. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you're watching this right now, you probably would work with me more likely than some random SEO agency off the street that you don't know. And it just is what it is. So it is strategic. Once again, I told you I'll be upfront about it. But I really enjoy doing this too. And the whole strategy behind all these things is so challenging. And I think the combination of going kind of wide on a certain platform or a different account and then niche is pretty good. Although typically I disagree with the idea of doing multiple things at once. I think if they're very different, where it's like one's education and one's kind of more entertainment around your niche, I think it can have some use, because I'm getting leads from both. So it's helpful. And to be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing in terms of the personal brand now since switching, because I only started this like a week ago, like started posting on the business YouTube channel, which if you look up Go Big Systems, you can find it if you're interested. Don't watch it if you don't care about SEO though, don't mess it up. Don't mess up the algorithm for me. Because that's going to be the one I'm like really trying on. This one, it's nice because now I can just focus on literally just documenting, and also giving like what I'm talking about now, like trying to help and give advice based on what I'm seeing working and what's working for me. And in terms of the whole business thing, it's very helpful to find someone to fulfill on the product for you. I've never thought about it before, actually. I always did everything myself. And this is much easier because I can just do the marketing, and that's what I like and that's what I'm good at. So that would be an interesting thing that I haven't really heard a lot of people say before. Like, not a lot of people talk about how useful partnerships can be. And it's usually because you're finding a friend of yours who also sucks at everything and neither of you know anything, which I've done that many times. It's like, if you both are just dumbasses, don't partner. You don't know anything. So it's like, if you can find someone that's good at either the marketing and sales or the fulfillment, do that. It's very helpful because all I have to do now is sit around and make videos all day, which it's good. I like doing it, and making videos is fun, and it's what I'm good at. And I might put in a little more effort on these and try to think of more enticing ways to say things, because I'm rambling so long on here. No one's going to watch this long. And I know that. And none of these videos are going to do well, and that's not the point. But I would like to have like people along for the ride and like be able to say things that are helpful to people. And in order to help people, I got to figure out a way to package it and say it in an enticing way. And so that's kind of not a responsibility, but it's like, if I want to help people, I have to find a way to make it accessible, I guess, to everyone, if that makes sense. Like, anyway, I'm way off topic. But that's kind of the plan for this channel, is like just documenting, and I'm gonna try and figure out a way to make these more enticing, entertaining, helpful overall, and while still documenting, kind of like this video, but probably less rambly ideally. But I don't know, I talk a lot anyway. I probably need to work on that. But yeah, so anyway, if you're a business and you're trying to start and maybe you don't have the authority to be educating, first of all, I don't think you need full authority. I think if you're just a couple steps ahead of someone, it is good. But unless you have somebody that is an expert, but they don't want to be on camera, they can give you scripts, I guess. It's kind of a weird arrangement to me. My stuff's working for now, so feel free to copy any of my stuff. I don't care. But the niche stuff, I'm still working on, so we'll see. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one. That's what I've been up to for the past 2 months or so. Excuse me, oh my goodness. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.